the door if you'll rise.
Kind of follow what we just thank you for today and thank you for your blessings, Lord. Again, we just ask that you just watch over you, take us, Lord, just give us wisdom and guidance, Lord. We do see your business, Lord, just forgive us for what we failure. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for coming at this time. Janelle, is there any?
No, sir.
Actually considering approved action regarding equipment purchases for solid waste collections and disposal and declaring an emergency.
Well, I guess I'll get us started. I'm going to get a fast and dirty spreadsheet for you there in the little packet I gave you just now on the last sheet. And we've been all around the track on this thing, trying to keep our service up on that. And I just gave you a list there of equipment, which that's what this meeting is about. Not is to make some decisions if we need to go forward with some stuff now, and timing's an issue. I don't know if you've heard or not, but we had a rollover, one of our side loaders this morning, fairly early, and I don't know, I mean, we're thinking it could possibly be totaled. It was insured for actual cash value. Don't know what that number is yet. That's kind of where we're at. Things we've been talking about, equipment we need. First off, compactor was a big issue, and that arrived today, and they've got bills put on it. There's a little more work they'll have to do tomorrow to have it up and running. And that is the machine was probably about almost 4 months late, or maybe 4 weeks late. Sorry, seems like months, but hopefully that's going to be a good machine for us. And so we're down to one truck right now. The truck we just got back Saturday, was it last Saturday? And it has a new engine in it, and I guess it's working fine. Today it ran Saturday and ran today good. We're waiting on our, I think they could possibly be test driving it right now, Sterling. So we should have the second truck back in just a matter of tomorrow or the next day. And we typically keep 3 trucks on hand. It really takes about 2 trucks to do the job, but we keep 3 just for backup, one for backup. We've ordered a new machine and did a budget amendment to order a brand new machine, a side load, 19-ton unit, holds 36 yards. And that machine is supposed to be here September of 21. And that was a machine that we ordered it a lot earlier from a buy board, but there was some delays. So we went to Houston, Galveston area and ordered it from them, and it was supposed to be a shorter cut of time. So that's what we're looking at. I don't know where to start talking about equipment right now. Let's just talk about this a little bit. A basic thing I think we really do need to get is we need to get another backup side load machine to replace the one that rolled today. Don't know what that number is. Cash value on the insurance. Don't know what that number is. So we've got to get the appraised and get the insurance paid, but we probably don't have the luxury of waiting around. Right now we've got waste removers working for us some. They're not a big operation, so we haven't had a whole lot of help from them, but I have a contract from the public, and they started helping us. I think they had some trucks over here Saturday, didn't they? Or was it? No, it was today. For they were in their Archie trucks Saturday and got 18 tons picked up Saturday, but
Interject here. So prior to today, part of the purpose of tonight's meeting was to, with as hard as it is to get stuff, y'all ordered that first side loader in December of last year, is that correct?
yeah,
And
that's right about
and they're telling us September when it shows up, so it's taking about 9 months. The new one, so what we came here today to do was, these trucks, except for the 2013 that has a new engine in it today, were all bought, the Sterling and that 2012 were bought when Arizmena's restarted the residential pickup about 8 years ago. They were used at that time, slightly used at that time, I think it was 7 to 8 years ago. So we wanted to go ahead and order the second truck so that we would have 2 new trucks, because it takes 2 trucks. Knowing that it would be into this year or first of next year before it would show up. And that's the $192,000 quote. Lance has had this prepared for a while. He actually wants to we have the big truck that we ordered, and this one is a smaller tandem axle dual that will do commercial, and also so that we have a big one and a medium-sized one, kind of like we've had. But we want to go ahead and get this ordered. It's not even going to be in this budget year, but we wanted to get council approval to go ahead and get that ordered so that it would be ticking away at the clock. So one day it gets built. As of today, that one turned over. The driver's fine. He had a seatbelt on and wild ride, but walked away. No injuries. Correct?
I think so.
How did it turn over?
Going too fast.
Yeah, coming off that hill before you hit that landfill road and hitting brakes ain't the best, and carrying about, I want to say about 7.5 tons of garbage. It just,
He was
a lot of
heavy, he
weight.
was fast, and the brakes aren't perfect, by any stretch. This is a truck that they've just been running hard for the last month, keeping up, so. Truck needed to go in for some maintenance once these other 2 got there for sure, but now it's going to need a little more than that. So that's put us in the issue of what do we do until September, until the new truck arrives, because we have this Sterling, and that Sterling's always been a dog. But could you make it with the Freightliner and the Sterling in a perfect world? Without breakdowns, you're fine.
yes,
But you get a breakdown, we're back in the same situation.
yes, sir.
I guess, so the issue is do we need to look at another used truck to get, for the time being, for the next several months, to get us through? One of the questions I would have is, what are these contractors, what is it costing us per week to have a truck here from, if we get to buy it?
I hadn't got to study the contract, but it's $200 a man hour is what they say with the truck.
1,600 a day?
So it adds up really quickly.
Yeah, it'd be way too
And Lance, do you think there's another truck at Abernathy, or you mentioned the one at Groom, that
I
are
called
there some
up.
used trucks out there?
I called up Abernathy, he didn't have any, but he did say he has a guy in Lubbock that has, one that he had got from Midland. He says it's an older truck, but it's run ready, it's ready to rock and roll. It's just, gotta get back with him on a price on it, cause, we're not trying to spend a whole lot of money on a, old truck. So, I'm just waiting to hear back from him and everybody. So pretty much, it's kind of a waiting thing, see where they're at.
So it's y'all's opinion that even with these new trucks ordered, that we do need something to get us through, not knowing what is
Yeah.
going to come of this other truck, whether it's a repair or a total?
Well, let me ask, I'm just curious. If we run the one truck that we got back, I guess it's a 2013,
Correct.
we couldn't keep up with one truck?
Be very hard, and it would kill that truck. That's just what it is.
That's what we've got into with this one they were running, is they run it so hard, and so heavy and so fast that, and then you have no time for maintenance.
No.
With the Sterling and that one truck, it's pretty difficult. I mean, it works, but it's, everything's got to stay working correct.
Yes, it's very fragile.
So the side loader number 3, 2007, which one is that? Is that the,
Sterling.
that's the Sterling?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it's showing to have a new engine coming tomorrow, returning tomorrow, sir? Is that correct?
That's my best guess is
Yeah,
tomorrow.
they rebuilt the engine in it. It had some valves and stuff needed to be redone and turbo. So kind of a,
Okay, so as it stands right now, as of tomorrow, technically, you have the 2013 and 2007 up and running, correct? And with those two, what are we looking at as far as maintaining our trash
I think that'll be good for now.
for now?
And then, as long as we keep Republic going along with us, but if we bought a pretty high mileage machine to back up these two, we'd be kind of back the way we normally operate.
I guess the question would be, how much would another machine cost? Would it be cheaper to buy another used machine, or would it be cheaper to let Republic do this until we get our new one in, which is supposed to be here sometime around, I want to say September? So I guess that's a $1 million question.
It is.
isn't it?
That's exactly right. That's a $1 million question.
I mean, what's the price on a good used one compared to what we say to everybody, $8,000 a day, a week,
Well,
you know? And
the last one we bought was about 75,000, but was it 75 or 50? 75.
75.
And it was a pretty good machine for
Yeah.
75,000.
So you always sell it if we buy one.
Yeah, you can always sell it, then you're gonna have upkeep on it between now and then. What's to say that thing doesn't take a dump on you between now and then too, you know?
The challenge I've been running into, Kenny, though, and I think that's good thinking, but I've been really disappointed with just about everybody I've contracted with on stuff, and it just seems like everybody is, oh, I lost a driver, I lost a truck's broke, I've got, all the contractors, so.
I agree with that. I think that's just gonna be the nature of the beast from this point on out. I think there are just gonna be people that are gonna use whatever excuse they can not to work, and, you know, I think that's part of the reality that we live in today, but, you know, bottom, I guess, you know, we're just gonna see what's gonna be the best cost-effective thing.
Lance, how responsive are they if you call one of these guys, South Plains Waste or Waste Removers, the next day generally?
Generally, next day, maybe 2 days, because they still have their stuff they gotta do.
So would it be safe, I mean, tonight, I don't think that we're prepared to buy a third backup tonight. One, we don't know where we're at with the one that crashed today. But, you know, if we have 2 trucks and we can keep up, if we know we have some maintenance coming up or have one in the shop, I think we could schedule a contractor for a day or 2 to help us, you know, until we can try to get to September till the new one gets here. But
Can we confirm up those numbers too with what ours is gonna pay, insurance, and what a specific one we could locate the cost and bring it back as another
it
meeting?
may be like our compactor, we may have just sold a $150,000 truck, a $20,000 truck for $150,000 with insurance. So,
Yeah.
you know, if that's the case, we might buy a $50,000 or $75,000 truck and use it for a few months and get rid of it, be okay. But
Yeah, I mean, roughly, if you're looking at, I mean, just say between now and September, mid part of September, you're looking at around 20 weeks and just roughly $8,000, you know, that's $160,000, you know, give or take. And, you know, if things go like you're saying there, that'd be a smart thing to do.
we have a lot of questions to answer.
Yeah, exactly.
We can come back with a more definite number at a meeting pretty quick, because we got to meet again on the 6th.
So what we brought you here today for was We want to go ahead and order what would be side load number 5 that's in yellow. It'd be a 2022, May 22 arrival for $192,000. The cost is actually, this smaller truck will cost more than the bigger truck we bought back in December by quite a lot. But we want to go ahead and get it on order so they can be being built and get the price fixed. The compactor, like you mentioned, came in today, went and looked, Buddy, I don't know if Buddy made it out there, but looks to be, it's a totally rebuilt engine, a new engine, new transmission, rebuilt final drives, new radiator cores. Looks to be a pretty straight machine. So I think it's going to get us through for a few years, but we do need to plan ahead and try to be ahead of that next time. But so any other questions? The next most critical piece of landfill equipment that we need to replace is the scraper. But that doesn't have to be done tonight. But as Mitch is supposed to be getting an equipment inventory and wish list together for y'all for over the next couple of meetings. And the scraper is going to be one of those items to try to look at maybe getting a little newer one.
I just have a question. I'm just curious why the smaller truck is more expensive than the larger truck.
Inflation, everything.
It's gone up that much. And I would imagine if we waited 6 more months, I bet it'll be $5,000-6,000.
Vehicles, everything.
Okay. I'm just curious.
Just
Yeah, we were
cold.
kind of staggered by that ourselves. We thought it would be cheaper.
Have y'all priced out the 36-yard one versus a 27-yard?
No, we didn't. We figured pipe was a little higher, but not a whole lot.
Well, the price of metal, we had bottomed out when we ordered that first one.
Yeah.
So that's why it ended up being a lot cheaper.
But
And this one's coming around with metal prices back up, so,
And do
There's
you
like
have a
$10,000
program
difference,
to-
so it might be worth trying to get the bigger one.
yeah.
But part of the reason why you don't want a bigger one because.
Well, we have some cans that we can't get to with that bigger truck.
Okay.
Like out there on 84, you know where you go to that dip?
Yeah.
That bigger one bottoms out and we can't
Okay.
get in there, so we have to get a smaller one to get
And like
that.
McDonald's in a commercial where it's
Yeah.
so tight and stuff, they need us.
And that 19 that's a lot of garbage.
Yeah, that was for mostly we can spend more time in the alleys instead of back and forth to the landfill. That's where we need to try to be at, to where we're in the alleys more than on the highway trying to go dump it. You know, if I can get them to stay in the alleys longer, we move a lot faster on picking up garbage and stuff.
So I guess the big thing is we're kind of looking at having 2 brand new trucks and then out of this side load at number 2 or keeping one of these other ones as a backup, is that correct?
That would be a good plan going forward, I'd say.
And then try to sell the other
The
ones?
plan was, I think, to keep the 2 Freightliners, the 2 better trucks, and turn that Sterling into a dump truck. But one of the Freightliners went to heaven today. So maybe where those 2 need to be backups.
And we don't, and it'll be a while before we understand what the insurance would be on that. And getting back to the compactor with the insurance paying on that versus the price, so we're out $191,000 up to $192,000.
Yeah, that's about right. Nice that it took so long, really aggravating.
Right.
There's a reason.
There's a list of excuses there. Look at.
Yeah, and I understand some of that stuff on the weather is out of control, but,
What I'd ask for tonight is a motion to go ahead and purchase another, this 18, approve this quote that they've received on this $192,777 quote for this Freightliner.
I don't think we need to amend the budget or anything, because that's gonna be the next fiscal year, but I don't know, I mean, that,
well, what are we looking at, Andrew, as far as our budget goes with this year being on next year, just?
So, if you wanted to pay it all outright or break it up into payments, we have a line item that's currently in existence that I think we could, if we broke it into 3 payments, there would be no change in the next year's budget. for a new truck.
You have that option during the budget if you want to pay for it all outright in 2022, or if you want to finance it for 3 years.
Pretty much. If you finance it for 3 years, it would pretty much just be agreeing to the fact that you'd keep that line item the same, and if you wanted to pay it out, it would be kind of like a capital expense where we put any excess money we had in order to just outright purchase it. But I think it's doable, yes.
Well, I mean, I for one think that, I mean, the longer you wait on this, just seeing how prices are going on everything, it's not gonna get any cheaper than, I mean, that's still quite a bit of money, but it's not gonna get any cheaper than what it is right now. So, unless anybody else has any discussion, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and approve the purchase of this, 27-yard Freightliner, 192, $777,000.40. That's presented on what next year's budget.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made by Kenny, seconded by Buddy. Is there any further discussion? And this price is good? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, the motion carries. Any other motions in regards to the solid waste equipment? If none, we'll now move into executive session regarding the sale of real property to TCC's VCF facility under Government Code 551071, consultation with an attorney and deliberation by the property.
Apparently it's gonna be a long one.
Yeah, it seems to be.
Talking about it last night.
Yeah, that's part of the Office of the Governor's grant that we've been working on for the better part of the year. When we were up there. Yeah, we just had to make up the difference of the price. It was a little over $1,200. Originally expected up to.
It is 6:12. We have returned from executive session where no action was taken. At this time, there is no action on number 7, so we are adjourned.
It was so fun, we should do it again tomorrow.